what lifestyle changes can a man make in his 40s or 50s to naturally become more attractive to women?
Travel.
Mm,
I think
yeah.
travel a lot, document
Yeah.
it. That is our male version of the thirst trap, right? Girls, they put up their bikini thirst trap. As guys, you put up videos, reels, photos of you traveling the world. Not only do you have life experience that you can talk about, but you have like the visual proof of what women are seeking, right? They're seeking like a man that has the wherewithal, the means, the resources, the time, and the inclination to travel. Obviously, you have to be strategic about it, but I have girls that will like go through my Instagram and see like, oh, I've been to like close to 30 countries, right? And they'll bring it up and it'll be a conversation piece. And they'll bring up, I've been to Croatia. And blah, blah. It's like, oh, I've been there. And like, I know that they've been stalking me, right? So travel, I mean, obviously you have to have like the finances and the time, but hopefully by the time you're 40, 50, you're settled enough that you can do that. But travel for sure.
So I did some day game yesterday, and and I was with my wife and daughter, and there was a woman. I've been in Peru, so it's not all the time that I get to see gringos around, or in this case, gringas. And I asked her, "Oh, where are you from?" And she was traveling around Peru, gave some recommendations. Everyone is into that shit, of course. So if you have experience traveling, if you're in a country that you're not from and you see someone of your own ethnicity, or you just recognize there's a visitor who speaks your language, give them some recommendations. Everyone is always up for that kind of thing, and they're happy to connect almost always. So that's a good one. Any other perspectives?
What we talked about before, I think it like what JT said, that there's a trope, there's beliefs that women will have immediately when they see him as being Asian. I think it's the same thing when women see a man who's in his late 40s, and one of the tropes is you're supposed to be fat. You're supposed to be a low testosterone fat guy. And I think not playing into that trope and being in really good shape, I think is really, really helpful if for a guy in his 40s to be able to navigate the dating lifestyle right now. The other thing I'll tell you, and this is where I get a lot of flack and a lot of people want to go after me on this one, but I have the data to prove it, which is you having social media showing other women showing you compliance generates attraction with women. I can prove it individually, and I can also show you the data from the Royal Society and the University East Anglia, Texas Tech University also did some studies on this, showing unequivocally that men who took pictures with attractive women, and those women had to show compliance. It wasn't like just being in a picture with like a tourist showing made those men seem more attractive. Additionally, when women think men are taken, they're about 30 points out of 100, 30 points more attractive to women when women see that a man is taken versus when he's single. I'd never gotten so many messages of girls hitting on me is when I was with my girlfriend and I was showing it on social media. So I think you showing compliance and pre-selection from other women is something in your 40s that you're able to do to where it's like, it's not you're doing it in spite of the fact you're 40. She doesn't even notice your age if you can show that level of pre-selection. So I think that's one of the things that works out really well.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with those with both of those there. I would say that another thing that I kind of grew into, it's not something I actually like really learned and then turned on, but I grew into it, is the giving less fucks. I think that is one of the most powerful things that you can have as a man that develops, I think, more as you get older. You just stop caring about so much that you once did. And as effective as these things are, just like the lifting, if you're doing it for the sake of women, right? Uh, if you're doing all these things so that you can win the approval of beautiful women, then you're still playing on their chessboard. Uh, as effective as it may be, it should just be a natural development of your interest in your life. Like if you really like people, you love socializing, you're going to develop that, right? If you have means, if you like talking to people, you're naturally going to develop a very lively social life. That's just what's going to happen. But if you're like, "Ooh, I need to make this happen so that I can get the attention from women," well, you're already failing because you're giving a shit too much about the approval of women. in their eyes, making their perception the measuring stick of you, which is a dangerous game to play. So I think that as you get older, I've noticed it. I'm probably sure you gentlemen have as well, but you just stop giving a fuck about so many things. It's like, oh, she's not interested in this or that. Okay, who cares, right? Oh, I don't like your hair. Okay, who cares, right? Like nothing matters really. And I think that's probably one of the greatest things that a man can develop as he gets older.
Hey Justin, I love you here. What you're saying, I love it. So I'm a simple man, and someone said to me, a good few weeks ago, a few months ago, maybe. He said, why don't you do exercise? Why don't you go to the gym? I used to go to the gym fucking years ago, like a decade ago. And then I stopped going. And this person said to me, why don't you go to the gym? You would be a fucking monster. And that alone ignited a fire in me, and the fire is there. I don't have time to go to the gym yet or get into this, but I want to get into that now purely because someone said to me, you would be a fucking monster. Because I know like I'm very purposeful, aware of my purpose in life. I always had a strong sense of identity and purpose. And now that someone simply mentioned to me, you would be a fucking monster. Fuck yeah, I want to do it now. So that's on the agenda for when I finish writing up the second edition of my book. I'll then have plenty of space to get into developing my monstrosities. But yeah, that just related to me. So that would
Mhm.
fucking, yeah, I don't know. That's just the way I would do something. But that's inspired by what someone said.
So there's this criticism. It's really misplaced, and it's somewhat ignorant. This idea that if you post a bunch of pictures with attractive women, well, it doesn't matter because you're not sleeping with all of them. The first
Mm.
thing, like I like that you need to people need to understand is number one, understand pre-selection. Understand the data is very clear on this. When you do have attractive women, when women see you with other attractive women, they find you more attractive. Again, I can show if you want 100 studies, I can show you 100 studies that show this. That's the first thing. But number two, the other issue is this. Can I pull up my IG here real quick? The question you have to ask yourself is not the girls. The question you have to ask yourself is, if not me, then who is your favorite dating coach in the world? Just think of whoever he is. The guy just crushes it with women. If you put your favorite dating coach in an area like this with 5 girls for every one guy, would he do well with women? If you put your favorite dating coach, whoever you thought it was, JT, if I put you in a situation like this where there's 30 girls and one guy, do you think you would do well?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so if you put your favorite dating coach in a situation like this and they wouldn't do well, why are they your favorite dating coach? Why are they your favorite pickup artist? If I can keep the question you don't need to ask is like, why do I take pictures with beautiful women? The question you need to ask is, what am I doing successfully that is causing that many women to be in my presence or to want to be in my presence on a regular basis? And then talk. You don't know me. Maybe I'm great with women. Maybe I'm not. Come to immersion and you can see it for yourself. But the thing is, what would your favorite pickup artist or dating coach do if he was surrounded by women like this on a regular basis?
You
Would
know
he
who
have
my favorite
success?
is?
What?
John Mulville.
I don't know who that is. Anyway, but anyway, what would you do in these situations? And the answer is whoever your favorite is if they would crush it in these situations, then why aren't you creating situations like this? These aren't to brag. These are to create pre-selection. And then the other part is I show guys how to create situations like this where there's 7 girls, 10 girls, 20 girls for every guy. So if I can consistently do this and your favorite dating coach would have success in a situation like this, then my question is, why aren't you doing this? And if your favorite dating coach wouldn't have success in a situation like this, then my question is, why is he your favorite dating coach?
There was a guy on Access Vegas, I think, maybe over a year ago, and he was an old man in his like 70s, maybe. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know the guy's name, but maybe you know who I'm talking about. He seemed very savvy with women, and he was a photographer, I think. I'm just imagining putting him in, he would do successful with women. He was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
And putting Eric Weber in, he'll do pretty good. Russ, I think he's gonna do good, of course. So yeah, certainly interesting. And then I know there was some coaches out there who claim to be coaches and are completely lacking in qualifications, and maybe they have some marketing gimmicks to make up for those incapacities. I imagine they'll do terrible. Like there's a blogger, for example, who got completely rejected by this woman, and he was doing some photography, and he just yeah, he would do terrible, but there he is, that kind of thing.